Let me tell you something else about the Chinese. They don't employ people that are not Chinese unless it's to be underneath them. Because you're not coming together because you're friends. And in fact, let me even say this. Sometimes the worst people to work with are your friends. You have to have recognition for the things that we've done. You know, everybody must know that it is me who did this business. It's a low profit business, but people need it. What do we cook in Ghana? Everything is stew. When it comes to wealth, that wealth is created within systems, not the end product. Ghana is connections. No one cares about your qualifications. Let me just say that. No one cares that you went to Harvard. Hey guys, welcome back. All right, in today's video, I want us to talk about some of the things that we can learn from the Chinese. Now, for those of you that don't know, Ghana is filled with a lot of Chinese people. And I feel like there is some things, some lessons that we could learn from them. I'm a big believer in learning from other people and even learning from the mistakes, not even just necessarily the good things that we do, the mistakes that they make as well. So I want us to dig deep into that, okay? So I feel like the Chinese and I would say also the Lebanese are two communities that we can definitely learn some things from. They definitely know how to unite and use what they have in their communities to better themselves. And I think we can take some good examples from that. So that's what today's video is going to be all about. Okay, so let's start with the topic of unity. I know I've touched on this in other videos, but today I want to go back and touch on it again, okay? Now, unity is something that brings power, right? Individuals cannot have the same amount of power that a community has that is together. We Black people, sometimes we like to do things by ourselves because of trust, and it is understandable because a lot of us have been stung by our own community, right? We have had family members do things to us, close friends do things to us, and there's been a lot of things that have been destroyed because of that, namely trust. Right. And so it's for us to build ourselves back up in order to get to the positions that we need to get to. And I'm not saying there's complete disarray within the Black community or within Ghanaians or Ghana or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying there's disarray, but I'm saying there's definitely work that could be done so that we can achieve more. Now, when you look at the community of Chinese people, one thing that Chinese people know how to do is unite. You go to any business that is run by Chinese people, you won't just see one Chinese person. You will see a multitude of them, and they all work together. Whether I like you, I don't like you. This is business. Like, we've come here for a strategic plan. And I think sometimes one of the mistakes that we make as Black people, whether Ghanaian or wherever you're in the States, Ghana, America, UK, Canada, wherever you are, one of the mistakes that we make is that we feel that if we don't like someone, we can't work with them. What? You can't work with this person. You have to know how to relate to that person on a business level, because you're not coming together because you're friends. And in fact, let me even say this. Sometimes the worst people to work with are your friends. I've said it. Sometimes when you're going into business, it's not your friend that you should be going into business with. It is somebody that you don't actually know, or somebody that just has a business sense, because you're likely to stay professional in that capacity. We've seen it before, right? People who have come together as friends that have tried to do businesses, sometimes they fall apart, and that is because sometimes there's just too much familiarity, or people don't respect each other's boundaries. It just sometimes just goes tits up, let's be honest. So that's not necessarily the right route to take, unless you know you have a friendship where, you know what, we can also do business. Okay, yes, our friendship is here, but you know what, we leave our friendship at the door. When we're coming into this meeting, this is about business. So it's not about bringing our emotions into anything. It's not about what happened last week at the restaurant when we went out together and bringing that into this business meeting. It's not that. We have to learn. If you're going to go into business with friends, right, you have to learn how to separate those things. Chinese people don't care about that, yeah? They're coming to work. That is strictly what they are about. They're like, okay, you know how to do plumbing. I know how to build a house. Let's go together. Okay, individually, we can do things by ourselves, but let's go together. Let's work on this project together. You're finished. I finished. We've done the project. We move on. If we want to work together again, then we will. And they build 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 like that. There's no emotion involved in it. It's strictly one goal, which is the goal of getting things done. They know how to use the resources that they have within their communities in order to achieve certain things. Let me tell you something else about the Chinese. They don't employ people that are not Chinese unless it's to be underneath them. They don't employ people at the same hierarchy as them. They will even go back to their hometown and bring somebody, fly them in to do the job that they need to get done, because they just keep wealth within their communities. That's what we can learn from them. We don't have that. We're just like, even though that person gets a job, I don't like them, so I'm not going to use the person for this project, even though they would be perfect. Well, I'm not going to use it. We've all done it. Even me. We've all done it. I'm not saying I'm not part of it. I'm saying I'm also part of the problem. We are all part of the problem, right? A lot of us do that. We put emotion where emotion doesn't have place, and we have to change that. That has to stop. Another thing that the Chinese do is that they have discipline. You only need to look back, right, at some of the schools, the way that the children are trained. They have discipline with certain things. A Chinese person doesn't mind humble beginnings, you know. They don't mind humble beginnings. They don't care about that. They come here with a plan. So they will have a plan of, okay, 10 years, 20 years, this is the goal that I have. This is the plan I'm going to put into place, and I'm going to work. And I'm going to work along this plan, and they just go for it. Whereas for us, sometimes we come into places like Ghana, and then we have a 2-year plan, sometimes a 5-year plan, and we are looking for quick returns on things. We want to see, okay, how can I get the fastest return on my investment? And there's not necessarily something wrong with that, but that's not building wealth. That's building for today, but that's not building wealth. There is a difference, okay? If you want to build wealth and you want to build generational wealth, right? That's a long-term plan. That's not something that happens overnight. Yes, there are a few people that fall into things where it's like they had a 2-year plan and it blew up. But that's the anomaly. That's not the norm. That's what we have to understand. People get lucky in certain things, and that's great. But that for the majority of people, it doesn't happen like that. One thing that we don't understand is that hard work is hard work. Hard work does not happen overnight. Hard work doesn't happen with a 6-month plan or even a 5-year plan. It doesn't work like that. Hard work is progressive, right? You have to keep going in order to be able to get somewhere. So I'm going to tell you one thing Chinese people do. They will come here, and I've seen them. We've seen them. If you're in Ghana, you know, if you go out Ghana, you've seen them, right? They will start with some small business. Sometimes they'll start with something as small as like a kiosk or like a welding shop. You can go around, you'll see them sometimes. They have welding places, right? And that's what they do. That's their business. And they don't care. They don't care about they don't care about what you think about them. They will execute this plan that they've come with, and they will stay the course, and they will work. Before you know it, you're laughing at you're sitting there, you're laughing at him. Oh, look at him, he's got this small kiosk or whatever. And then before you know it, he's grown 2 kiosks, 3 kiosks. He's expanded his shop. Before you know it, even let me just hit on this point. Before you know it, they've gone and got some government contract. And they've gone bigger and bigger and bigger. And why is it? Why is it that Chinese people, Lebanese people are able to get these big contracts and we struggle? They build strategic partnerships. What did I just say? They build strategic partnerships with people. Remember in my last video, I was saying that Ghana is a country where association matters, right? They know who to rub shoulders with. And they do it in the background. They don't talk plenty. And one thing I will tell you about Ghana is the people who are at the top don't like a lot of noise. Yeah, they like to be discreet. They like to work with people who are discreet. So you who is out there and you're always flaunting, you're driving this car, some expensive car that you're driving, you're blasting your music loud, you're just bringing a whole lot of unnecessary attention. I'm not talking about just normal, unnecessary attention to yourselves. They don't want to work with people like you because you're too much. You bring maybe exposure to the business. Like, it's just not a good look. You know the way Ghana is. Ghana is very, I want to use the word humble. I don't think that's the right word though. But Ghana is very much low-key. The people who are doing things right are very low-key. They don't really flaunt. Those that are doing genuine things, right? They don't really flaunt a lot. Sometimes you don't even know who's got money. In Ghana, most of the people that are rich and have money, you won't even know. You don't even know because they don't flaunt it. They know how to work low key. And they are the ones that want to work with other people who are also low key. Like, this is about business. Let's go in there. Let's execute this business plan and let's get this done. They don't need your approval to say, oh, well done. You're doing very well. Yes. Oh, I love the business. They don't need that. They're just looking for their bank balance, what's going to drop in their bank balance. They don't need the accolades of those around them, those in their community, in order for them to keep going. Like, you know, like how when we have children and we're like, oh, well done, you've done a great job. Oh, you've colored in the lines, you know, type thing. They don't need that. They have graduated from that. And a lot of us need to graduate from that, where we feel like, you know, we have to have recognition for the things that we've done. You know, everybody must know that it is me who did this business. You know, those are not the kind of people that will want you because you're too much, you're too loud, it's just too much. The strategic partnerships, those who are doing real solid things, big things, and have big plans, they want to be low key. So Chinese people know how to work with that. How many times do you hear about Chinese people doing things? You don't even know about what they have planned until you see it. It's been executed. That's when you see it. You don't hear a lot of noise. You don't even know sometimes who is the head of the business. Like, you don't know. But us, we will create a Instagram page and say, yes, CEO, director of internal affairs and whatever else. We'll put our title there so that we can be recognized, because we want to have that status. And yes, sometimes that status is nice, but it doesn't need to be loud. It can be among those that need to know. But we sometimes, you know, we take it too far. And that's not everybody, because there are some people who have come here, done some things in Ghana and are low-key. You will never know that this is their business. There have been people that I've met. I'm like, that's your business? And they're like, yeah. Like, you just would never know. This person's just simple, jeans, t-shirt, walking around. You won't even notice their restaurants, because they're behind the scenes. They don't even want to. And let me tell you something. Sometimes for some businesses in Ghana to excel, because of jealousy and things like that, it is better for you to have a faceless business. Let's be honest, a faceless business, just because of the jealousy that we have within our community sometimes. Sometimes people won't patronize you just because it's you and they don't like you. What? They just don't like you, so they won't patronize your business. So your best bet is to just go faceless and let people enjoy. In fact, I was speaking to someone the other day and they were saying to, I can't remember who it was, but anyway, they were saying to me that there's this guy, he was kind of young, you know, he created this t-shirt business, and all his friends, nobody wanted to support him. They don't really like him, right? So he launched his business and he just did it anonymously, quietly. Like, he never said anything. It was only later that it came after the brand had blown up, right? That people realized that it was his brand. All his enemies had been buying it, wearing his clothes, his t-shirt, his hats, his all that. No one knew it was him. He's just humble and did his thing. That's the same measure that some of us, not all of us, some of us need to take, because sometimes people just look at your face and they don't like you. They just choose to not like you for no solid reason. They just don't like you. And because of that, they won't support your business. In fact, they will try to destroy your business just because it's you. Because maybe there's been some misunderstanding within your relationship or whatever. And that's what we do. We tear each other down. It's like, that person's not going to rise to the top. That's another thing we do. That person's not going to rise to the top if I haven't arrived. They cannot arrive. So I won't support their business. Meanwhile, in the background, what you're doing is you're just going around saying nasty things about the person. We've all been there. We've seen people do that, right? They will go around saying nasty things about your business, about you, that are completely unfounded. And you know our society, you know how we are, right? The whole society, everybody included, all cultures, all of us, you know how we are, right? We take negative things so easy and we take it for gospel. It's almost like we're in a situation right now, especially when it comes to social media, that we believe everything that is being said without any type of fact. So if someone says something negative, we just run with it. And the person has to prove themselves innocent. It's like there is the court of social media. There is the court of public opinion. And sometimes that weighs so heavy. And some of us just have no basis for believing this thing. We just believe it. It must be true. Just go on Instagram and just read comments. Read comments on a post and see what happens. Just the comment section. It takes one person to say something negative and everybody rides on the bandwagon. Yeah, it's true, it's true. Some people even, because of their own traumas, they'll also come and add their lie to it and put their own thing in. But anyway, let me not digress too much. But yes, we need to think more about what we're doing. So Chinese people they don't care about humble beginnings. You know, there's this saying that, well, I don't know if it's a saying, but something that I heard is that Chinese people will do a business, right, and make one city profits, and they're cool because they'll keep turning over one city. For some of us, we'll come here and we're like, that's not enough profit, so we're not going to do the business. So we're looking for large returns. Like I said, I gave the example last time of real estate. We want to get into real estate because, you know, it's smack bang, big profits in there. That's what I need. But then we forget about the small businesses around that can turn you over, maybe 5 cities here. You get a customer, you got 5 cities, you got 2 cities, whatever. And we forget about those ones. But those are the businesses where there can be longevity in it. Those are the business where you can really build generational wealth. I'm sorry, I cut my hair the other day and it's so short that it keeps going in my eyes, so excuse me. Those businesses where profit margins might be lower, but you may have a higher turnover. So that small business that you have that you think, oh, well, I'm only selling pure water. I'm only getting 5 cities per sachet bag that I sell, right? It's nothing. So there's no point. I don't wake up for less than $100 a day, $2,000 a day. Stay there. Keep lying in your bed. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. These businesses that have small turnover get customers continuously. The customers keep pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring. Whereas you're focused on, I want high margins. So one person is selling pure water. It's 20 cedis for a bag of pure water. You say, no, I'm not selling it for that. I want my own to be 50 cedis per sachet water. Who's the local person going to? They're going to the one that's cheaper. And that person who's cheaper will keep getting repeat business like that. It will keep coming. Before you know it, that person that's got money. That's why I said in the other video that those in the market selling tomatoes, they're the richest people because it's a low profit business, but people need it. What do we cook in Ghana? Everything is stew. Everything has the basis of stew. So why won't you sell tomatoes or onions or garlic or ginger? They're not rubbish businesses. They're businesses that have profit. The profit margin may not be high, but they are businesses that will forever turn over because those are things that we need here all the time. Every day, somebody is cooking stew somewhere. Ha! What? Please. Another thing that the Chinese people do that I have to respect them for. Yeah, like let's be honest, respect where respect is due because they're smart, right? Is that they know when it comes to wealth, that wealth is created within systems, not the end product. Okay, if you have a system where everybody has to rely on you, do you not think you're going to make money? You're literally going to print money. I'll give you an example. So I can have a business and I sell coconut oil. My business does well. I have a nice shop. I get customers coming all the time. Coconut oil is really popular right now. And, you know, people are forever coming in to buy coconut oil. That's great. That's wonderful. No one is knocking that. It's great. But what about if I owned a coconut farm? And within that coconut farm, we process for people. So we don't just sell you coconuts. We can do, but we don't just sell you coconuts. We actually have the systems in place to squeeze it so that we get the coconut oil. Now we are the manufacturers of the coconut oil that we are selling in our shops. So now we own the system, we own the chain, the whole process from beginning to end, right? So someone might come in and say, oh, I've got better coconut oil. My coconut oil is this and another. Okay, fine. They can perhaps take away some of your customers if you only have the storefront. But if you own the system, guess where that other person is coming from that also has a coconut shop that their coconut oil is better than yours? They're coming to you to come and get the same coconut oil. They just branded theirs differently. Chinese people they understand how to use the system. Systems is what gives you generational wealth. Being able to create something that everybody needs is where your generational wealth is. It's not, Hey, I can't speak. Your generational wealth is not necessarily in a shop front. Shop fronts are great. And as I said again, I am not knocking them. They work. They will bring you money. You will feed. Your children can take over the shop. I'm not saying that. But if we want real wealth, then we need systems in order for those things to work. And not only that, we need a community to help us, because me by myself, I cannot go get the farm. I cannot go buy all the machinery. I cannot do all the work to operate the machinery, to extract the oil, to do this, to do that. I cannot do it all by myself. I need community. I need people to help me. That's where unity comes in. That's where community comes in. That's where working with people that we may not necessarily like comes in, but they have the knowledge. That's where it comes in, and a lot of us are missing that. We have opportunity here in Ghana right now where things are still, people like to say Ghana is the developing country or a third world country. I don't particularly like that term, but that's what they say, right? That's where the money is. The money ain't in the West, where everything is already in place. Someone has already claimed it. Yes, you can find a small space, but people have already claimed what they've claimed over there. Ghana is developing. So for those of you saying, I'm not coming to Ghana because the roads are not done, the water is not working as it should, come and create a system so that we have water and you will make it rich. No one has done it yet. There are things that we can pull from the West that are not brought here yet, because nobody wants to come and be uncomfortable for a certain amount of time. For those systems we put in place, we all want now. We want the luxury. I can't come to Ghana and I can't live in the mountains somewhere because the road is not good. The road is not good. Okay, let's see how we can fix that. What can we do in order for the roads to be better? Because if we wait for the government is taking too long. How can we find an idea, a business idea out of this? How can we put certain things into place? Because here, like, there are problems. You know, if you live in Ghana, there are problems galore in things. Like, we have problems upon the problem. Even the problems are tired of the problems. We have those things. Those are also advantages. If we create things to solve those problems, that's where you clean up. It's simple as that. Like, you need to come here and experience the problems so that you know how to solve them. You can't solve those problems from in the West and sit down and think, okay, well, I've been to Ghana once. What were the problems for me? Like, it's not like that. Let me tell you something. Okay, so we have something called MTN, right? MTN is a network. MTN is great. I think it's one of the better networks that we have here. But do you know how frustrating it is when you want to buy credit and you go on your phone to buy credit? You have to dial the code *170#. And then after you've done that, then it will ask you another prompt. Who are you buying the credit for? Yourself, somebody else, or whatever. It's for me. Okay, how do you want to pay? Do you want to pay with mobile money or do you want to pay with airtime? I want to pay with airtime. Do you know how many steps you have to go through before you can actually buy the credit that you want to get just to have data on your phone? Do you, like, the process is so long. It's like, is there not a better system? Yes, they have an app now, but I'm saying that's a system that was the only system before the app came along. That was the only system. And it's like, you're in an emergency and you're having to go through like about 8 steps before you can do the thing that you want to do. It's frustrating. Someone could easily create something that is easier because we haven't got there yet. I've never seen such a thing in the UK before. We have to go through these 8-10 steps before you can do the thing that you want to do. Before, when I came to Ghana first, right, there wasn't even a way to do it on the app. You couldn't even do nothing on your phone. You had to go buy scratch card. That's how we were topping up our phones. You go to the shop. Can I have 5 CD scratch cards, 10 CD scratch cards? And you'll scratch it and then you'll put the numbers into your phone. Since then, we have upgraded from that. Do you think if you hadn't been the first to do that, you wouldn't have cleaned up and made some money if you hadn't created a better way to do it? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's frustrating. And sometimes, even for those of us that have been here a long time, the longer you've been here, if you don't stay sharp, you can almost begin to get used to the problems here and then you don't see them anymore. But if you've come here 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, you can still see certain things that are frustrating, whereas those of us that have been here a long time, we may overlook because you just get accustomed to certain things here. And so, we have to continuously keep our minds fresh. And that's why it's great to work with young people that are fresh into Ghana sometimes. They see problems that we can't see. So that's why I said it's about community. We need community of people who are at all different levels because we all have ideas. Sometimes those of us that, are older We're stuck in our ways in certain things. That will never work. AI will never work. How can you do that? How can you take a picture of someone, snap the picture, and then it turns into a video? It can never work. It will never trend. But then young people, they know that, hold on, this is great. This is the future. They can see certain things. That's why it's great to work with people at different levels, because we get different perspectives into things. Hey, I'm talking a lot. Another thing we can learn from the Chinese is that they go into very boring industries. They go into things like manufacturing. They do warehouse projects. They do like these boring things that some of us are like, oh my gosh, if I do this thing, I'll be bored out of my head. Like, there's no glamour in it. That's where the Chinese people are, and they know the reason why they are there. You see them finish work and they're looking all dirty, and you're like, the person has been out in the sun, they look dirty, they look this and that. Meanwhile, you just want to wear your white t-shirt and your nice jeans, and that's how you want people to see, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes that's not where the money is. The money is in the boring things that you see. You see them. Why do they get into gold? Not just because of the money. Like, they don't care. Like, we want to be the gold. If we're looking at the gold train, we want to be at the end product. We want to be like the jeweler. We want to be the person that says, yes, I've collected the gold. I'm selling gold. But who went to go and dig for the gold in the first place? And I'm not supporting Galamsey, by the way. I'm not supporting that. But I'm just saying, the Chinese people, that's where you'll see them. You'll see them head up that operation where they have gone there dirty, they are filthy. You don't even want to sit next to them on the trotro because they're so dirty. Even though the trotro itself is dirty, you don't want to sit next to them on the trotro because they're more dirty than the trotro. Do you see what I'm saying? But they will go into those industries because they know that's where the money is. Keep laughing. They don't have time for you. You laugh. Don't worry. 20 years, I'll meet you later. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes the money is in the boring, mundane things that we see every single day. And Chinese people are not afraid of those things. They don't care. They will clean the gutters because sometimes that's where the money is. They will get that government contract to do everywhere. They know what they are doing. They're strategic. Everything that we do is strategy. Even your own personal life is strategy. The reason that some of us are in the situations that we are in is because of choices that we've made that have led us to that point of being in that position. Everything that is happening to us today is a result of things that we have done in the past that have brought us to this position. Facts. Even me, I'm in the same position. The reason I'm in some of the predicaments I'm in is because of choices that I have made that have brought me here. I made the choice to stay in Ghana. I made the choice to have 4 kids. I made the choice to build my house. So these are things. And I'm not saying those things are bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those things are bad, but those are choices that I made that have brought me here. Yes, I could have said, okay, I'm not going to have any children. I'm not going to move to Ghana, I'm just going to travel the world. I could have, and then maybe there would have been another issue there. But I'm just saying, whatever predicament you're in is because of the choices that you've made up to this point, and that is it. Make better choices. Another thing that Chinese do, I've already touched on it, which is community, right? They have community. Now, within that community, they have people that are across different industries who do different things, right? They work in different sectors. For example, they may have people that they know who are lawyers. They will have people who are, I don't know, in whatever industry that have good footholds in these industries so that they are protected. Do you think that Chinese people are in Ghana and they don't have people within certain industries that they can easily be connected to if they need something right now? If something happens, right, and they get in trouble or whatever, you think they don't have lawyers that they can pull on within their community that they can use? You think they don't have the power of protection in certain things? They do, they know. And sometimes those people are not even Chinese. They just have, because again of association, they know the right people to pull on that will get them out of problems that the rest of us would be stuck with. They have those, again, strategic partnerships. We don't have, a lot of us, we don't have that. We don't know lawyers that can help us if we get into trouble here. We don't have favor in certain things that can help us, right? We don't keep our money within our community. I'm not buying hair from that person. I use buying hair, yes. I'm not buying hair from that person because I don't like them and my friend doesn't like them, so we're not going to shop there. I'm going to go to this other person's shop and buy it. You go to the Chinese man shop and you'll buy the hair from there because the Chinese man has absolutely no connection to you. He doesn't care about you. He just wants your money. He'll give you what you want. He'll give you the good customer service because he wants his money, and then you go. Meanwhile, this person who's within your community, you don't want to buy from them because I don't like her attitude. I think she's got a bad attitude, or whatever the reason is. That's what we do. So we don't build partnerships with people, and therefore we always lack partnerships, community. Those strategic partners, they're so important. It doesn't even have to be on a mass scale, because let's be honest, not all of us are ready to go mass scale into things, and that's just a fact of it. So I don't want you to think that this video is about this massive, I don't know what's the word. I don't know the word I'm looking for. But these massive partnerships, I'm not talking about that. I'm even talking about even on a smaller scale. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, all right, I bring things in from China, for example, right? I know someone that can help me do this. And you work with the person in order to build your business. But sometimes we don't want to work with that person because we don't like the person. And so we'll go like this. Instead of just going like this to the person who has the knowledge. We don't want to work with those person. We're not building those partnerships. And sometimes it's because we don't know what's out there. We don't know, we don't talk about the people that we know in order to make connections here. So we come here, again, very individualistic. You only know people who are just within your circle. And if they're not in your circle, you don't know nothing about them. And so therefore, we're not building relations in order to be able to spread our wings. Connections in Ghana, that's how Ghana works. Ghana is connections. No one cares about your qualifications. Let me just say that. No one cares that you went to Harvard and you have the top level, A-class, whatever. You even have more knowledge than the person who taught you all the information. No one cares about that when you come to Ghana. It's about association. And that's why sometimes schools are great, because when you put your children into certain schools here, just by the people that they know, the people that have gone to school with, they get certain contracts, they get certain things just because of that and nothing else. They may not even be smart, but just because of simple association, the person liked you, that's how they're able to work through certain doors. Understand Ghana and how it works will help you. You know, we very much have to move away from thinking that we always have to go big. We always have to have something that is glamorous, something that people will respect. It's not about that. Like, so many people do things that look small scale, but they have the potential to grow far. They don't mind humble beginnings. And I think if we can understand that humble beginnings is fine, that is where we can have the most growth in the things that we're going to do. If we can understand that, then we can go far. You start small. Someone will come along and say, okay, you know what? I want to invest in your business. And that's another great way to grow businesses. You don't even have to be the one that owns the business. If you have investment capital, find businesses here that are maybe struggling, that you can just invest. Your $1,000, which is nothing to you, that you can go to, means the world to someone else. Working with Ghanaians as well. Sometimes, hey, let's not get it wrong, yeah? Some Ghanaians are very smart. They just don't have the opportunity because they don't have the finance. Find those people that are smart that you can invest in, and the business can go far because all they need is investment capital. That's the only thing that they're lacking. You can come here and use those skills that those people have, nurture those businesses, and that's how you grow. You don't have to be the one that is going to head this business. Yes, I'm the CEO. You don't have to do that. There is potential in investing in other people. So don't overlook those things too. So there is a lot that we can learn from Chinese people, Lebanese people. Walk into any mall here that is run. It's mostly, you're going to see behind the scenes is Lebanese people. They don't care. They don't care if you like them. They don't care if the person that they're standing behind the counter with likes them or not. They're working together for the goal of making money, building wealth, generation wealth, creating legacy. And that's what we are missing. We're missing the point because we are so focused on ourselves and our personal issues that we have with someone else. We need to stop that nonsense if we want to grow. Ghana is great. Come here. Your opportunities are here. And hey, I'm not saying that Ghana is for everybody. Ghana's not for everybody. Some people cannot do Ghana full time. Hey, that's cool if you can't do Ghana full time. Some people cannot do Ghana at all, and that's cool. Don't come here. Build the business. Use all the tips that I've given you. Use it in the West. That's cool too. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that some of us, we have to learn to do better if we want to go further. That's it. Let's learn from the Chinese. Yes, some people might think that, oh, the Chinese, they get on my nerves, they do this, they other. But you know what? We'll have to give respect where respect is due. Chinese, Lebanese, these are strong communities, Jewish community, very strong. You know what I'm saying? We need to have a community for ourselves as well if we want to grow. So that is that. So if you're coming here, maybe even in this video, that's a business idea right there, right? For someone to create a system where we can find people that are trusted, that we can work with to build and know what the other person is doing. So sometimes we don't know that this person, Kofi over here, has this business that can also help my business. And if the two people could only meet, they would explode. But these two people have never met each other. Maybe someone needs to build a platform where it gives business exposure. It's a business idea right there. Anyway, I think I've gone into it enough. Let me know what you think in the comment section about what I've said today. And let's keep the conversation going. So, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, I am out. Neti Baba.